programmer for a game Easter egg, actually jumped from the 30th floor and chose to commit suicide. He was worried that he was not dead. Also took out the equipment in the game and gave himself 2 knives. Only then will he be able to regain his rare dual class. It turned out that the real world collapsed because of the release of the game. Song Anin was too proud. Almost died between the saliva of the great Demon King. He vaguely remembered that there were Easter eggs developed by himself in the office building. As long as you enter the safe house, you can evacuate. He desperately rushed towards the office building. His only thought is to survive. Songan relied on the attributes of a warrior to lengthen and brush shoulders with death several times. At this moment, he happened to meet the black-hearted boss who was running for his life. Songan was forced to join the queue of escapes. The black-hearted boss urged Songan to hurry up and find a way. Otherwise, all of this month's wages will be deducted. Songan relied on his memory of Easter eggs to accurately locate the location of the safe house. Just in the last moments before dying, the 3 of them successfully arrived at the safe house, and the little devil sword food outside the safe house suddenly disappeared. Suddenly dumbfounded, what surprised Songan was that there were other colleagues in the safe house. After the next meeting, he rushed towards Songan. He's the game's artist. It is also the only motivation for Song and to be willing to stay in the black-hearted company. Just when Songan sighed, the harem will start to explain when we meet for a while. As an art of the monster image design, I also know a little about some Easter eggs. He's also considered safe. Half of the designer of the house. Just at the moment when the situation is critical, I took my colleagues to evacuate together, but they couldn't accept the reality for a while. It becomes a game, so much so that it becomes very negative. Although Songan is safe for the time being, but humanity on the line between life and death is even more dangerous. The black-hearted boss assumed the posture of a superior. You have time to be negative. It's better to turn off this broken game. What the hell do you people do? The boss looked crazy. My company, my money, all the ruins of you. The employees were also helpless. Boss, how can we be blamed for this situation? The black-hearted boss immediately pointed to all the people in the safe house, and all the waste was waste, and all of them were fired. Songan didn't pay attention to what he couldn't see clearly. He knew that only by finding NPCs, obtain the clue items they provide to escape safely. Obviously, the NPC is the strange little girl in front of him. Brother Chio, the fat man in charge of character modeling, suddenly realized, that's right, as long as you brush up the NPC's favor, we'll be rewarded. Because he was helping Brother Chio enter the safe house just now, Brother Chio did not hesitate to take out the activation card of the minimap. Permission to meet again on the minimap. Songan understood, in order to equip the minimap, the role of the replica is extremely critical. Brother Chio said angrily, accept goodbye, sister. You're all selfish bastards. It's impossible to want a map, and the black-hearted boss is suddenly unhappy. What kind of reasoning with a 5 or 6-year-old child? No matter what is so moving, grab it and you're done. The moment the black-hearted boss made a move, Songan punched and shouted in the boss's face. This fist has a bit of a personal vendetta. Songan pulled out the knife and blocked the voice. Do you think this is still a real event? Thou hast deceived others in this battle. There is only one dead end. In the next second, Song An's words fulfilled Brother Chio's cry with tears in his eyes. At this time, Brother Chio's favorability dropped from 0 to -100 punishment eggs. The safe house will be completely deactivated after 30 seconds. As time passes, the crowd panicked. At this moment, death seems to be getting closer and closer to itself. The monsters outside the house also noticed the anomaly, squatting at the door and waiting for the fat to come to the door. Songan broke out in a cold sweat. Laughing at myself, I'm such a fool. Why did you make such a foolish Easter egg in the first place? If you can find this shed in a while, maybe the little devil is not dangerous enough. Just as Songan was thinking, the black-hearted boss suddenly pushed Songan from behind, directly pushed Songan out of the safe house. In the face of 5 demonic interceptions and the close demonic power claws, Song An's face was covered with cold sweat. Helplessly, he forcibly took the heavy blow. When the boss is faced with the blame of the goodbye, still vibrating words, he doesn't go to draw away the monster water. You're so careless. Are you going? This point, sounds in the distance caught everyone's attention. Songan didn't die, but self-denial for humanity. I'll go and lure away the monsters. You fled with them. I'll do my best to stall for time. Now it will be soft and soft. Colleague is afraid to death. Leave him alone. The time is coming soon, and the voice just fell. Security is invalid without invitation. Song-in shouted. So run? The black-hearted boss was the first to rush out. Because the boss is too fat and too slow. The brother who walked behind pulled the monster's hatred to flee at the same time. Because Song-in's actions have increased his favorability with Brother Chio. Big brother, you're a good person. I hope that this map of Brother Chio can bring you help, and Song-in received the map. The first action is to find his Easter eggs. As long as you find the last Easter egg in this building, the monster in front of you is not a threat. When you open the mini-map, Song-in didn't notice that a demon had fallen behind and was chasing in the direction of goodbye. Although the map indicates the location of the hidden office, but in reality, there is no door. Song-in thought that he could go around behind the little devil with a sliding shovel. In the next second, the fist of the demon gang shook him to the point of bloodlessness. He really wished there was a flash in this game. Looking at the smoke, this wave is extremely dangerous, and as soon as the camera turned, at the same time as coming to the end of the escape procession, has been killed by monsters, death after death, made the rest of the people even more panicked, and there are 30 minutes left in the survival mission. At this moment, as you can see from the map, there is an elevator around the corner in front of you. Just when a few people hurried to take the elevator, Song-in is still breathing. He only had 11 health left and was stabbed again. I guess that's the end of it. But Song-in was not afraid. His brow furrowed slightly. Unleash harsh words at the little devil. Well, it's very vindictive to see me later. After entering the hidden office, Song-in saw a skeleton programmer named Akuen. He kept typing the code written on this disk. It seems that from birth, he had never seen a man of the moon at 12 o'clock in the evening. The reason why it became a skeleton, because he never sleeps, working overtime for more than 100 years. Even the urine are solved by sitting on a chair. It turned out that the boss asked him to get off work at 12 o'clock, but he couldn't wait until 12 o'clock, until he boiled into a skeleton. Song-in's first reaction when he came to this, it's emotional, looking at the game Easter eggs I designed. It's really something special. Akuen greeted Song-in politely. Friend, are you here to work overtime with me? It's a pity that I still have more work to do. Can't talk to you too much. Song-in patted the skeleton's shoulder with empathy. Akuen, you will be able to rest in no time. Once upon a time, he was like Akuen. I'm under the pressure of a black-hearted boss. The skeleton Akun didn't hold out any hope. I've been a skeleton since I was 20 years old. I didn't understand until now. Turns out that overtime is my destination. Make my existence more meaningful. You don't have to persuade me to get off work. It's impossible to get off work. Song-in did not interrupt Akuen's words, just silently picked up the marker pen and took the clock off the wall. What is written on it? Song-in turned his head, with a smile on his face. Akuen, look at the clock in my hand. It's really past 12 o'clock. You're ready to go. In this situation, Akuen's skull is numb. He muttered to himself, 130 years and 3 days, 18 hours, 5 minutes and 25 seconds. Did I really wait for 12 o'clock? In the next second, he had a big temperament, flipped the whole table over and scolded in his mouth. Go to his work, go to his overtime. The boss who trapped me here is really damned. If it weren't for the fact that I couldn't get off work, who wants to work? More than 100 years of pain are lifted. Akuen danced excitedly. At this moment, the system prompts that the Easter egg task is completed. Akuen's bones all over his body became transparent. It turns out that they are not forced to work overtime. It's this feeling. Boy, thank you for helping me get free. As a thank you, I will leave you with my bones and things. Goodbye. Send Mu to send Akuren who is scattered. If there is an afterlife, be sure to find a good boss. At the same time, the system received Akuen's reward, the bones of a tough programmer, and a pair of contact lenses. The glasses also come with a 100% real name resistance effect. And Song-in's purpose in triggering the Easter egg is to get Akuen's pelvis. Because of the golden hurtful profession, Song-in can craft fusion weapons. Decades of sedentary care let Akuen's pelvis become more and more tenacious. Song-in decisively took out the equipment. The stone knife system indicates a 999% chance of fusing into a bone knife. After the hammering of the energy of the system, the moment the bone knife is successfully built, it shines. The blue light instantly improved the quality of the bone knife to a B-level ancient knife. Not only does it come with armor penetration, there is also a passive energy burst that deals 10 times the damage to the demon. This miracle must be attributed to the profession of the Golden Merchant. Blessings. Songen smiled. Looking out the door, it's time to beat up a few little demons guarding the door. Although Songen's HP value is still 11, but as long as Songen, who is of lower rank, can kill a little demon, to gain experience that increases by 1 level, and at the same time of upgrading, his health will be refilled. Although the damage of the ancient knife against the little devil has been increased by 10 times, however, the damage effect is punished after 3 seconds. As Songen's level increases, the little devil became a pinch. 10 minutes ago, Songen was still one of the thousands of Easter eggs that ordinary people who were chased and killed by the little devil with their own design. He can play with the little devil between applause. Upgrading with Easter eggs is just around the corner. On the other hand, on the other side, colleagues have found the elevator. The black-hearted boss desperately pressed the close button. Didn't want to wait for Songen to look at the small map again. Found that the monster icons that chased Songen had all disappeared. Or let's wait for Songen. Everyone on the elevator chose to oppose. It's a line between life and death. Are you going to take our lives on the line? Just a second before the elevator closes, the last little devil came after him, and luckily the devil's fist smashed through the elevator door. But it did not affect the fall of the elevator. At this time, the sword light flashed behind the little devil. It was Songen who came. With the passive departure of the demon hunter, the little devil's voice shattered. Songen's brows tightened. Who will allow you to do anything to my friend? It looks like goodbye has already gone downstairs. It's still a step too late. At this time, the system prompts. The monsters on the floor are all clear. Songen sighed. I thought I could kill a few more demons to level up. Now Songen is only level 5. But every time you upgrade all attributes, you will add 2. Moreover, Songen, who has the Golden Merchant and Combat profession, can get 16 freely distributed attribute points when he is promoted to the next level. Because he's a sedentary programmer, after clicking on the perception and intelligence of the section, he used all the remaining attribute points to increase his strength, speed and stamina. The 5 basic attributes are almost identical. Songen looked at himself in the pentagonal shape and sighed. Maybe I'm a little bit better than ordinary people. At this moment, the whole office building began to shake, seeing that it is about to collapse. Could it be that it's because they ran out of the office building again? Did the demon lords outside start to run wild? And goodbye this end. The black-hearted boss chose to leave the team alone because of fear. Because the demon ruler to be indiscriminate, attacking countless purple fireballs that fell, the flesh and blood of the black-hearted boss evaporated in the flames. In the end, it was shattered and evil. Among them, it is difficult for him not to blow up. The remaining employees did not have a trace of regret for the death of the boss in their eyes. Instead, there is only horror and fear. Because the black-hearted boss exposed the location of several people. The demon commander immediately noticed this. I accidentally hurt my leg in a hurry. I will pray again that the fat man can take away Brother Chio, who fainted in his hand. Even if it's the same fat crush in the meeting. But in the face of life and death, he decisively chose to abandon the fireball in an instant. Tears of despair will be shed again. Before he died, he still wanted to use his body to resist the damage for Brother Chio. Just when this 1,000 troops are attacking, a familiar figure, holding a trapping knife, he appeared in front of himself like a hero. Break it for me. That's right. Songen used almost all his strength to mobilize the demon hunter. To completely cancel out this one fireball, I will turn my head again and see hope. All the aggrieved emotions seem to have a person to confide in. Songen raised the bone knife, pointing to the demon lord in front of him to meet again. Leave it to me. You can want about 35 kills. Someone has to be cannon fodder, and there is still the ability to move on the field. Only Sunyu, the outcast who had just had a crush on the meeting, hid in the forest guiltily and didn't dare to squeak. His heart is full of mixed flavors. Songen resisted the fireball of the demon leader, while bewitching Sunyu. I have an Easter egg. Can keep us alive. You'd better make a decision quickly. Otherwise we all have to die. Sunyu rushed out and said, What do you want me to do? Song roared. Find a stick and draw a big circle at your feet. When Sun Yu heard it, he felt unreliable. But in order to give birth to monkeys again, he decided to believe in Song again. But after drawing the circle, the game interface prompts the player who congratulates the grandson to trigger the wall monster circle of the Easter egg Lao Sun. Those in the circle are immune to any damage for 10 minutes. Song knew in his heart, if you want to really survive, you must kill the demon leader in front of you. The only chance is to cooperate with a player surnamed Sun and trigger the circle of monsters. At the same time, Sun Yu's head conjured up a monkey who loves to mock. As soon as the little monkey appeared, his mouth was full of foul words. The demon lord's hatred instantly filled with fireballs and sent them out. And Songen is quickly circling behind, grind monsters to death with the skills of demon hunters. Although every few strokes of the knife will pull back hatred, but the little monkey's mouth is so terrifying. Songen can't remember how many times he shaved. I only know that the state of the demon lord is declining because of this. Songen gritted his teeth and had to solve it within 10 minutes. Otherwise, everyone will have to play with the hatred transfer several times. Let Sun Yu be exhausted, but he is still buying time for Songen, constantly adding oil and vinegar to the taunts. 30 knives, 50 knives and 100 cuts. Only then did the demon rule lead the ears of the lotus. Songen's fat man has been promoted to 4 levels in a row. At the same time, the aging period of Easter eggs is just over. Songen looked at the corpse of the demon lord, and it stands to reason how many bosses died. Will you drop a piece of equipment? In the next second, a subtle light emitted from the main furnace of the demon spirit. Songen's eyes widened. Is it A-class equipment? Because all the monsters in the area are cleared. The F section where Songen is located has been unlocked. At this time, there is an owl angel Rappel in the sky. He is the system genie of the game. Due to the fact that Area F completed the task ahead of schedule, Lapel rewarded all players in Zone F with 10,000 new coins. Turns out that in the new world, the Singapore dollar is the only currency here. Whether it's trading or getting stronger, he is indispensable. Even a merchant with weak combat power can become stronger by knocking gold. Songen raised his head. Listen carefully in this world. I have a dual class of golden merchant and combat. The small goal of complementing each other is not a problem. At this moment, Songen seemed to have his own way to become stronger. After 10 minutes, all areas of the world are unlocked, and the humans who survive will become players in the new world. Raphael immediately released a new main quest call to Destiny, while the demons are repulsed. But other demons, because of the rise of this battle, players from level 1 to 10 go to the command room in each area to pick up the raid mission. The survival mission is mainly for screening, and the next crusade is what it means for players to survive in this world. That's right, it's an upgrade. Songen was thoughtful. It seems that the main quest does not have much benefit. Instead of wasting time here, it's better to go to the dungeon cabuk to upgrade first. Songen was cured by the passerby A, who entrusted the treatment profession before saying goodbye. On the lap of the meeting, I will ask passerby A to help treat it. Brother Chio was at the moment of treatment for passers-by. The system actually pops up a window that the cure is ineffective. Rappel was a little confused. It stands to reason that healing NPCs is allowed. Could it be that this NPC has some secrets? At this time, a spatial rift appeared in the sky. The words that come out of it, only Rappel could hear a muffled voice coming from across the space. Rappel, you bring that NPC back. Don't look at Rappel's strange posture quietly. Songen asked suspiciously. Rappel, do you know why the world is the way it is? Rappel replied. This question is beyond the scope of inquiry. Can only ask the game-related Rappel to send a transfer command to Brother Chio in the next second. Chio, Gu, and Rappel disappeared into the rift of time and space. This made Songen even more suspicious. Rappel must have known the inside story of the line of recovery. I would like to invite Songen to do the task together. Songen wanted to speak and stopped. The road to becoming stronger after the secret path in my heart. Absolutely dangerous. In the event that there is no guarantee of safety for a reunion, let's limit it to one person. Songen could only refuse on the excuse that there were other things. I'll be a little disappointed again. Songen opened the warehouse in the next second, took out a piece of equipment. This outfit should be able to protect you in a critical moment, and your eyes will widen in an instant. Could this have been dropped by the Demon Lord? Yes. The A-rank Demon Eye necklace can emit interactions that are 150 times the strength value, and it can also transform into an attack form. I will quickly wave my hand again. I can't ask for this, Songin said with a smile. What do you think? I borrowed it from you. After all, some guys can't be trusted. You just take it. Then, Songin threw a bag of new coins towards Sun Yu. This 10,000 coins is sent to you. I'll see you again with the equipment. In the next second, Song In's face became gloomy. I hope you don't give it again in the future. Trouble saying goodbye to colleagues. Song In leaves Area F. I thought this game world was very beautiful. Unexpectedly, there were twists and turns, living between life and death. Although I don't know who the master of this world is, all Song In can do now is to improve his strength. Make the most of the remaining 1,000-odd Easter eggs. Song In walked towards Fangda Square. As a merchant, before entering the dungeon, it is necessary to seize the opportunity to go to the mall to empty the supplies. Although the world has become a game, but there will definitely be a period of scarcity after that. Men plundered countless gold in the mall, trying to defeat the boss with superpowers. Just when the boss is brilliant, Song In took out the ancient knife. I want to open a hole in the body of the Yama King, but I haven't succeeded, and he showed the joy of victory. He believes that even level 40 demons have to die under the ancient sword. The 15th level maths have 3 more nuclei and 3 knives down. There is not a single scar on the Hades King's body. Only Song In, who has countless hatreds. Only then did I realize that the Yama is just a beast. It's not a demon. And the demon hunter attached to the ancient knife can't trigger the stone tablet at all. The hurt made him forgetful. So, Song In was slammed to the wall with a claw. The retreat before and after was blocked by Yin Shu. Song In could only target King Yin Shu again. If you don't defeat him, all Easter egg plans don't need to talk about the system. In addition to gold and oil drums in the storehouse, can be seen oil drums. Song In suddenly had evil thoughts. Seeing that Yin Shu likes gold so much, Song In simply took out all the gold gestures in the warehouse. Behind him, piled up into a mountain of gold Yin Shu. The king was mad for a moment. Desperate, he rushed towards Song In. Song Anfu's lower body flashed. King Yin Shu threw himself into Jin Shan's arms. The purpose of the mountain of gold is to cover the gasoline mixed with gold. Song In lit a homemade Molotov cocktail. I thought I would have a full meal in a while. What he blocked at the beginning was Yin Shu's righteousness. If you can't be greedy, you have to pay a heavy price after all. The moment the Molotov cocktail fell out, the flames immediately filled the sky, and the hair of King Yin Shu was shocked by the flames. Wow, call this time. If you don't die, you have to peel off your skin. Song In rushed forward when he saw that his goal was achieved. It's going to mend the knife to the seriously injured Rock Rat King. Because he was burned, Rock Rat King Molar prematurely. There was a murderous aura bursting out of his eyes. With a wave of his hand, he released a black mist towards Song In. This is the unique wisdom skill of the Rock Rat King. Although there is no harm, but it caused Song In to lose his sight for 12 seconds. Not only that, as long as you are attacked by the Rock Rat King to become blind, it also adds 2 seconds. No matter how Song In listens to the sound and wants to dodge when he is blind, such a dense attack, there is no possibility of near death. Song In is still desperately fleeing, but there are only 2 points left in the health value. What else can I do? Before he died, he recalled Akuin's tool-like life. At the last moment before Song In's life ended, he recalled the contact lenses that Akuin had rewarded at the beginning. Isn't it an artifact that ignores blinding effects? The next moment of blindness effect relieved Song In advance and struggled to avoid the flying boulder. He was grateful. Akuin, thank you for helping me again. Song In picked up a bone knife and cut himself. Keep your HP at 1. He triggered the final whole card desperate counterattack Easter egg, and all attributes were tripled in 3 minutes. And there is no way to receive treatment. The energy in Song In's body shifted outward because it was very full. Song In decided to lose a fight to the death. He asked with a gloomy face, "Are you ready to die?" Song In's speed is now 44 times that of ordinary people. The strength is 50 times that of ordinary people. But now he is in a hurry to die. He didn't have any chance of turning back. Because of the resistance of contact lenses to blindness, the black mist emitted by the Yama King, Song In can directly ignore and decisively, who's going to be killed in the end? As soon as the camera turned, I came to the reunion, This head will rely on the demon's eye again. I can go and mix it up again. No matter what mob it is, in front of the demon blade, they will be split in two. Teammates don't have to shoot. To gain experience. Upgrade. The demon eye can be turned into a scythe. Morphological attacks, which can also be turned into handcrafted defenses. Although there is no threat in both offense and defense, but what I care about most is Song-In's safety. A colleague sighed. Song-In broke in alone. There must be more than one bad luck. Before he was timid in the company. Maybe I've already answered it now. In the eyes of the meeting, it was full of determination. Song-In I know, but he's more tenacious than anyone else. At this point, the system pop-up window in the Dim Yin dungeon is constantly popping up a level increase prompt. The final blow was won by Song-On. Although leveling up will restore the amount of blood, but Song-In was really scared of spiritual tears this time. After the death of King Yin Shu, countless rich rewards broke out. But the death of King Yin Shu is just the key to open this dungeon. The Easter eggs that can be triggered here are thousands of times more precious than this boss. The man pressed 200. Yin Shu never sleeps. More than 12,000 pieces of part-time mining equipment. As soon as it was sold, it earned 100 million. Once upon a time, he was also a migrant worker who was oppressed by his boss. The Dragon Slayer's loyal dragon stares into the abyss for too long. The abyss is staring at you, too. After killing the Rock Rat King, Song-In's level has been raised to level 10. A skill slot is activated. In New World, players will be at level 10, level 30, level 60, and level 90 unlock a skill slot. And the source of skills can be bosses. It can also be a monster skill. There are 3 levels of ABS. Song-In decided to make the S-Class Black Object dropped by the Rock Rat King his first skill first. Black objects blind all enemies within 3 meters for 12 seconds. Not only that, but the Rock Rat King also dropped a special eye. Stone can control rat monsters, is also the key to open this dungeon. The last item dropped is the artifact of the Merchant class. The Greedy Crown is used when trading with NPCs. Can increase the total income by 10%. Song and couldn't wait to use Genshur to control all the small-eyed mice on the field and divide the batches. Let them face in 4 directions, south, east, west, and west. Crazy mining or 20 eyes. The Stone Merchant can synthesize a D-class equipment. There is a 5% chance. Crafting C-rank equipment. There are Abdi's 6 levels of equipment in the New World, and there are different qualities at different levels. Song-In's ancient knife belongs to the B-level bottom equipment. Because of the symbiosis of Easter eggs, as long as there are more than 100 rock rats in the cave to survive the eyes, even after harvesting, it can be reformed. After 14 days of sleepless mining, Song-In, who has the Merchant class, actually synthesized 12,000 pieces of equipment. Among them, there are 67 pieces of C-level equipment, and Song-In picks out 8 pieces of the best quality and C-level weapons himself from head to ankle. If you want to find a merchant to buy equipment, you have to clear the dungeon. It means that all the rock rats who helped work for 14 days, he will be put to death with his own hands. Looked at the youngest Yin Shuling. Song-In was really a little unbearable, but reality forced him to make up his mind. If you can't see the merchants, all 14 days of hard work were in vain. In order to put himself at risk, swap out the C-level equipment disadvantages. He can tame a magical beast below D rank. When the Ugly Song-In decisively signed a contract with Yin Shuling, this can somewhat compensate for some psychological guilt. And at this moment, the system elf Rapiel suddenly appeared, because other players couldn't enter Yinshu dungeon for more than 10 days. So Rapiel came over to check on the situation. But as soon as I entered the door, I found mountains of equipment and hundreds of wage earners. He looked at Song-On Dao angrily. You'd better explain it to me. If you use cheating, I will not be spared. Regardless of whether Rapiel does not know the Easter eggs, Song-In was killed, does not admit that Song-In took out the rock rat gold stone. I'm using this equipment to control their mining. Is this cheating? Rapiel took the gold and stone to test. It is indeed a system equipment. Rapiel asked with a gloomy face. And what's going on with this pile of gear behind you? Under normal circumstances, the most resources in a dungeon are to synthesize practical equipment. What's going on with you? Song-On Han smiled. I really don't know. I wanted to try crafting equipment from the beginning. I didn't expect to get so much co-authoring. I didn't see any error messages either. Just when Song-In patted his chest and promised, Easter egg hint mine refreshes the air on the spot. Suddenly, Tranquility Song An's face was covered with cold sweat. Not daring to squeak, Rapple fired an Easter egg at the rock rat gate. Repair instructions. The system can detect for half a day, showing the laws of nature in vain. No need to fix. Raphael was depressed. It was immediately decided to use the elimination directive. Eliminate all 197 yen shu in the house. Song-an looked at the dead employees one by one. Hurry up and let Yin Shuling hide in Baizhong. He begged Rapple to stop. Although the dead Yin Shu's experience is all counted on Song-an, but watch them die. It was worse than his own death. Raphael righteously said, "All I do is righteous." Song-an stared at Rapple viciously. "This is your justice. You're just bullying the weak." Because more than 100 Yin Shu died, the Easter eggs were ineffective. 50 monsters reward hidden titles. Dangerous players only need to face enemies that are 15 times more than their own, and their damage and defense are increased. 50% of Song An's bet on Rapple's elimination order was invalid for him. Just when the two confronted each other, the NPC Adong who collected the equipment happened to come to the Rock Rat dungeon. Seeing that the situation is not good, was about to slip away, but dared to be stopped by Song An. "We talk about our voices. I can't do anything about this cat." At this moment, Rapple received an appeal from the other players. "I can only leave in a rage of incompetence," Adong said with a smile. "Boss Song is not as good as a piece of 6,000 Singapore dollars. How did I receive it?" Song An's face darkened instantly. "The cost is 5,000, and now there are more than 10 level players outside. When you sell it for 20,000 yuan, someone will rob it like crazy. Then I don't want to hide from 121 pieces." Adong raised the price by 800. "I've already lost money, okay? Tossed for half an hour." Adong finally shouted out 9,000 pieces. And what Song An is waiting for is this sentence: how to make an extra 10 million with one sentence. Song An sold more than 10,000 pieces of equipment to NPCs for 9,000 Singapore dollars for a piece of prefecture level equipment. And just before the transaction, Song An launched the price increase effect of the Crown of Greed, increased overall revenue by 10%. Therefore, Adong not only presented a gold card with a deposit of 100 million and a sack of tens of millions of cash. Song An, as long as you use this gold card to get preferential policies and high-level treatment in the chambers of commerce in various districts. At the moment when Song An took the gold card, the golden pillar of light rises into the sky. The system prompts you to get the title of billionaire. All NPCs' favorability towards Song An is unconditionally increased by 10 points. And Song An, in order to curry favor with Adong to reach a long-term cooperation model, Song An decided to give Adong 50 pieces of CG blue suits at a price of 200,000 yuan. But these 50 pieces of blue clothing cannot be used as retail. You put these 50 pieces of blue equipment into the lottery of 10,000 pieces of D-class equipment and lose them. Now there is a price for C-grade blue equipment on the market. As long as you control the probability of 5% draw, you'll be able to dispose of this equipment in no time for 20,000 pieces. A sentence from Song An instantly brushed Adong's favorability to 100%. Adong said with a smile on his face, "Since Boss Song is so sincere, I'm sorry for Boss Song if I don't take something out." The next second, Adong took out 3 bottles of fairy water from his arms. This potion can be taken at any time. The effect is to clear all negative statuses. Instantly full of blood and blue. This unexpected gain made Song An full of confidence. With the blessing of fairy water, then you can try it. Many adopted before saying goodbye to Adong. Song An also bought a small white powder from him. This is a must-have item for the next dungeon, because Song An was teleported out of the Rock Rat dungeon after clearing the customs. But as soon as I went out, I was blocked by a group of Modi drivers. Everyone is desperately trying to introduce themselves. Just then, a pickup truck catches everyone's eye. "Come on, brother. I'll kiss this bag quickly. You can also provide information for free." At this time, the Modi trees behind him, one by one, they spit out tongues. He spoke in a tone of supplication. Asked Song An, "Young man, I'll give you a 20% discount. What do you think?" Song An didn't pay attention to it at all and jumped directly on Lin Nan's pickup. After all, for him, information in the new world is even more scarce. Lin Nan said to himself, "Just those people were poor people. They can't fight the monsters, can only go back to the old business." running for life. Little brother, you must be very good at playing games. Songin was a little choked, right? Lin Nan skillfully lit a cigarette. It's a miracle that the world has become like this and can survive. Not to mention catching up with the changing world. Songin can't kill the monster with his white hands. It shouldn't be so much that the monsters will refresh. And there's a lot of it. Lin Nanming spat out a puff of cigarette. Now the major unions are standing at the monster farm. We're low-level players who don't even have a chance to get close. Songin was a little surprised. I've only been in the dungeon for half a month. Has the development out there become so fast? Lin Nan explained. Now there are 3 big unions. Li Jirui's strategy group gathers more than 80% of high-level players. Su Fei's new Emperor Ming entry door. At least 100,000 new land worth. And the Ghost Dragons Dongshan will occupy low-level dungeons, plunder the resources of low-level players, and quickly rise unions. Speaking of Higashiyama Club, Lin Nan's eyes were full of hatred. It is because of them that we have been promoted to the south to a large extent. Brother, you have to beware of these people in the future. Songin sorted out the information Lin Nan said, and the road may not be peaceful. And the only thing he can do is get stronger. Pay the fare. Lin Nan reminded with a smile. Brother Song can't beat us, so hurry up and run away. There is no shame. After Song Amu sent Ling Nan and walked towards the entrance of the next dungeon, unexpectedly, the entrance had already been jammed. Why don't you let us in? So many of us are not at the level. There is also a certainty of customs clearance. The next second to catch the spear, just pointed at the man to warn the NPC guard, and said with a dark face, Did you say anything? If you are less than level 20, you are not eligible to enter this dungeon. It's the rule. I'm level 30. Are you going to practice with me? The fox sets aside the spear rule. The NPCs who are going to break it raise their spears and take an offensive stance. At this time, Songin appeared. I advise you not to fight with the guards. As long as it attacks, it will be judged by the system. Malicious attacks on NPCs will be punished enough for you to drink a pot. The fox laughed, and he had never heard of the Songin said with a smile. Humph, you don't know. First go and ask the guards. Put away the knife. That's right. He's right. As long as you do it, will be included in the dungeon. Ban list for 15 days. No entry into any dungeons is allowed. When the players heard it, they immediately coaxed it for 15 days. It means being out of touch with the new world. Songin said with a smile. Brother soldier, in fact, I also came to this dungeon. I don't know if I can be accommodating. The soldier's face was gloomy again. You don't have to talk about it either. Songin opened the inventory to exchange for a set of tints. Covered directly to the captain of the soldiers. There are a lot of people here on the face. Let's talk about it separately. As soon as he entered, the guard was full of sneer. What do you mean by that? Songin smiled. A little bit of meaning. I want to make friends with the captain of the guard. By the way, please drink, and the guard said stiffly. Thou hast enforced the law impartially. What am I doing? How can it be bought casually? Songin waved his hand a lot. 2 bags of hearts have been added by 200,000. I'm sorry I was sloppy. The chief of the guard has never seen so much money. Damn it. How is this kid like this? I can't stand it. The next second, the captain of the guard smiled and moved the pin. From now on, we're friends. Songin looked at the Easter egg panel with the word bribe written in front of him. As long as you give NPCs new coins, you can get friendship. However, the amount of new coins varies from person to person. Although we are friends. But the matter of entering the dungeon, I'll have to think about it. Songin added 200,000 again, and the old guards had to think of a way. In the next second, Songin's friendship with the NPC guard chief instantly reached 100%. The captain of the guard said with a smile, Oops, it's all chickens. Dude, you can use my pass. As soon as he came out of the tent, the captain of the guard pointed to the dots. If it weren't for our good relationship, the pass of honor that the king has bestowed upon me, I'm not going to give it to you. Although a little flawed. Songin was speechless. The flaws on your pass are terrible. It's too unfriendly to players like me. Hearing the sound of the wind, the fox immediately came over. It stands to reason that first come first and then come to your pass. We've got a share of that too. Songin took out the pass. This is a symbol of honor for the captain of the guard. You can be together if you wanna, but I'm going to take half of the dungeon's proceeds this time. The fox lowered his face. In this way, We will take you through the customs and let you join our strategy group. I'm the vice president. My personal invitation. But your pleasure. The fox shows off his special class. Binaries are born with the art of distraction. Doubles the number of skills you can control. And what the fox ushered in was Song An's contemptuous refusal. It's more practical to give props. The fox's face collapsed in an instant. The whole person suddenly half a root is accumulating. It depends on whether you have the ability to take the angry mountain collapse fist in the next second and instantly cover Song An. But the fox felt as if his wrist was caught in something. Unable to move and waiting for the smoke to clear. Song An was unscathed. Grabbed the fox's fist. The fox throws a C-rank plant seed. I've got you covered. Hurry up and take us inside. The fox waited for the dungeon with a black line on his face. With your good-looking Song An, a total of 9 people, including themselves, entered the dungeon of the secluded canteen. And this dungeon is the place that Song An is most familiar with. This is the dungeon that is known to have the most bugs in the open phase. In order to fix the bug, Song An didn't miss the Easter eggs just came in. Song An did not act rashly. The healer who solves the missing mob in the rear has to hold the healing technique in his hand all the time. Although there are more warrior professions, but it can be planned into multiple types with personal hobbies. Can be a ranged fighter, can also be a melee fighter. Even the allocation of melee mage skill points and the matching equipment as a combat class can be subdivided into more than a dozen small professions. Looking at the battle in front of you, it's much better than individual combat. The merchant's job is to clean up the battlefield. After the battle, pick up any equipment or materials you can find. But the red-haired businessman in front of him is different. He can actually get a piece of equipment in the other person's warehouse by touching someone's body and not be discovered. At the moment when the redhead touched Song An, and he had an extra bottle of white powder in his hand, what the hell is this thing for? And at this moment, the fox couldn't hold his breath. I'm going to fade Song An here. By the way, Song An, I've actually always been curious. Why were you able to catch me for a week? There's only one explanation. You must have good equipment. Hee, I want it so much. The rest of the team immediately put out their clothes. I want to eat Song An's appearance. Song An understands that this battle will come sooner or later. He quickly opened the inventory. Just try out the new items with you. The fox immediately ordered the team to besiege Song An together. Song An grinned, but the next second, he wanted to cry. How did my white powder disappear out of thin air? Now he can't think. You can only bite the bullet first. Take on the attack on the dungeon team, which is face-to-face. The first thing Song An did was to rush to the crowd. Put the team in the ability black medium. The fox realized that it was too late to realize that something was wrong. All the members were shrouded in black mist. Triggers the blinding effect. Even the inadvertent machete. Song An's shoulder attack can be shown to be lost. Encourage a few people to only be healed by the team around them with their backs to be alerted. Just about to launch the dispel. Was cut off by Song An. All of the two-handed therapist's moves have to be transmitted through the hands. If the hand is wasted, the skill will be wasted. Song An Shin said secretly, "These people, it is not a pity to die in the river of autumn." But they began to guard in all directions in groups of 2. It's hard to solve it in a short period of time. Song An actually thought about it. Just now it seems that the red-haired wounded man touched the white powder. It just disappeared into thin air. Song An confronted me at the girl. "There's a bottle here, that's missing. Can you show me your backpack?" The girl's face is empty. "Turn your head and run away." Song An frowned slightly. Hee, admit it, it's easy to do. Song Jingjing pressed the girl to the ground from behind, regardless of the girl's pleas for mercy, and he put the bone knife around her neck. The left hand roamed over her, searching for medicine. The girl's face is red. "Don't mess around, you bastard." Song An's heart that hung when he got the medicine finally let go. "I won't embarrass you if you take the initiative to admit it." At this moment, as soon as the other party lifted Jimong, what exactly is the blue-haired warrior who pierced another wounded person in the team? Looking at the geography of the severed hands, my heart burns with rage. The whole person tends to go crazy. Just when several people were about to attack Song An, he decisively opened the glass bottle. Throw the powder into the flame. There was a loud thud between the two magicians. Song An smiled. The show begins. The powder followed the flames and contaminated the bodies of all the team members. Just when they thought it was just a chemical reaction, the monsters in the dungeon are crazy towards it. They came, and the mosquitoes were red-eyed. It's like going berserk. And at this moment, the blue-haired warrior is wrapped around a sudden tongue. In the void, it was devoured by frogs in the distance. Only when you see the appearance of the frog can you understand. This kind of powder can even attract the treasure ancient poisonous frog in the dungeon, and the effect of the powder is called the belly motherworm crazy powder, which is used to attract monsters for treatment. Seriously injured the meat shield. The swallowed team became a plate of scattered sand goo. Poisonous frog roared. The archer was directly whipped to death with a tongue. And Song-in has long been hiding in the gap between the Easter eggs that were originally designed. But there are bursts of frankincense in the cracks. The girl disguised herself as a man and hid in the gap with Song-in. Song-in didn't know about this, even told the girl to go out immediately. But there was a message from him. It smells as good as goodbye. Stopped in an instant. Song-in's tense heart. Watching the play, the team members outside the wind were wiped out by monsters. Song-in smiled lightly. It seems that this battle will soon be over. The reason why the boy was sacrificed to do it, just because he likes to play with fire. And what mosquitoes hate the most is the team with the tacit understanding of the flame. It was instantly disintegrated by a bottle of powder. Song-in, as the initiator, not only hiding in the cracks with women, I also like to watch these bandit teams gradually disintegrate and die. The pleasure of this. He is indescribable. The fox was very annoyed, desperately shouting Song-in's name, but in exchange for the roar of a lonely frog. The consciousness of the fox has long been hated, but her muscles began to swell. The whole person is fatter than a bullfrog. He took the straight tiger and the ancient frog determined to fight to the death. Song-in is hiding in the cracks to observe the profession of the double star. There really is double the expansion of skill bits. Skills last 10 minutes, and strengthens all attributes by 30%, and the muscles become larger. Landslide punch, whether it's range or power, are more than twice as large. With a punch, half of the mosquito bones in the cave were gone. Even the ancient lone frog was retreated 10 meters in response. The fox that can swing out after the landslide is basically exhausted. The ancient lone frog threw out the giant snake. The fox thought it was the bot striking with all his might. I didn't expect it to be just a young bow. Just touching it, it was highly poisonous, and the amount of blood continued to decrease, and the fox's state plummeted. The fox frog opened its mouth again and struck. Easily took down Song-in from the fox. Only then did I realize that, if the damage is not made up in time, the state of the fox and the frog will be full. And the purpose of Song-in's trip is to collect the materials dropped by the fox frog. But Song-in's next move was staggering. He actually turned around, throwing yourself into the mosquito pile, when the number of enemies exceeds 15, to trigger the title of Dangerous Player. With this, Song-in increased his double resistance and attack. And Song-in's ultimate purpose in doing all this, but it's to trigger a new Easter egg. Because of the increase of physical resistance and magic resistance, after Song-in pie the meat, directly immune to mosquito attacks. The next second, the ancient poisonous frog giant snake came back. The target was actually the Easter egg of the mosquito eye star moment around Song, and that was triggered instantly. As long as a large number of mosquitoes gather around the player, ancient poisonous frogs will involuntarily attack food. Song-in borrowed the cover of the scandal to protect the ancient poisonous frog, approaching step by step. At the moment when the ancient poisonous frog was captured, Song-in burst out of the whole body speed. Slash at the leg of the ancient poisonous frog. Let him lose his balance first. Then followed by a black mist. Blinded the ancient poison frog for 10 seconds. Song-in raced against time. Scratch him all over his body, trying to grind the frog to death. Song-in's blindness increases by 1 second with each stroke. The blood volume of the ancient poisonous frog is too low. Automatically turn on berserk mode. A huge amount of venom stuck to his tongue. Because of the blindness, he began to be indistinguishable towards the surroundings. Attack where the tongue locks. The ground also changed color. Song-in could only resist with all his might. From active to passive, only a drop of venom sprinkled on Song-in's body. He loses 5% of his HP every second and has a 20% slow. If it weren't for the blinding effect, Song-in has long been on the line between life and death. Bruises alone increased the poison and slow effects by 10 seconds. At this time, Songin recalled the original suggestion at the meeting. If the antidote grows within 100 steps of the poison, isn't this game more reasonable? And behind Songin, it is to save lives and suffer. In the next second, he launched the Golden Knight of Hurting. An antidote was created in an instant. Looking at Songin, he became angry. He hurriedly squatted down. Towards Songin, he pressed with all his strength, and Songin smeared oil on the soles of his feet, but he was only injured. However, the ancient poison frog was stuck in the ground area and could not move. The system says that the area cannot be moved. Songin, haha, laughed. I didn't expect that after so long of hard work. There is still Bob who has not been fixed. This helped Songin a lot, and drank the antidote. Songin's speed is back to the peak. Kill the already badly injured ancient poison frog while you need you. Songin continuously cut out the stone knife which frog, hence the hatred. Songin was promoted 2 levels in a row. Just as Songin approached the corpse of the ancient poisonous frog, the system actually prompted, Songin Golden Merchant Profession has vacant skill slots and so on. He excitedly opened the skill panel, but I was surprised to find that there was an extra skill bar. Could it be that because the merchant skill was used in battle, so by default, does the system determine that each class can have 4 skills attached? It seems that the benefits of dual careers are slowly beginning to emerge. And at this moment, the fox came over with the red-haired girl. I really didn't expect Songin to kill the buff. Thanks to you, I can upgrade the recovery state. Are you going to trade your gear for your companions? Songin doesn't seem to have a burden. Why do you think he is my companion? The next second, the fox punched and shattered the girl's internal organs and threw them aside. Songin didn't say a word. It's like you don't see it. The fox fist shook his hands. In this case, we speak with strength. Last time you won by luck. I can only get out alive today. Songin snorted coldly. Doesn't matter. In the next second, the vacant skills of the hurting profession are filled. S-rank skills do not grant poison that can be inflicted on weapons to replenish poison frogs. Now, Songin is worth more than 100 million S level. For him, the millions of Star Emperors needed to reach the 3rd level. As long as the Dufu feather touches each other, not only can it directly lose 20% health, but if it hits again, it also comes with 10% of the true damage. A knife hurts 999 foxes and is powerless to resist at all. He said self-deprecatingly, "Hee, did I lose completely?" He erected to Songin to end you cheaters. I finally understand you. Lee Zerue, you're all dirty game designers. I don't think I'm bad at talent. Also have a good game mind. Desperately engaged in equipment. In the end, it's not as good as you. These game developers Fox once again erected termination. To hell with you, all of you. After saying this, he died because his blood was at the bottom. At this time, the red-haired merchant beside him stood up tremblingly. Because the hat inadvertently slipped off, he shows his full hair. Songin. Only then did he realize that he was actually a girl dressed as a man. The girl is better than dead blood. He prayed to Songin to help him, but Songin is gloomy and in love. I haven't forgotten that you stole from me, unless you come up with your most precious things. Although Songin has a hard mouth, but the body is honest. The girl gritted her teeth. If I die, light rain, there will be no one to take care of. She knelt on the ground. Pray to Songin, even if you want me. I can also give you a girl's eyes full of sincerity. Please, I have to live. Songin was stunned for a moment. This guy's eyes are hurtful. You are a traitor next to the pollen of the plant that can stop the bleeding. You just sit back here and wait for your upgrade. Songin walked towards the corpse of the ancient poisonous frog. Because of Huli's interference, this reward has not been received yet. Songin's purpose is to obtain the long amputated hand bone, used to improve the quality of ancient knives. The rest of the rewards though have a bit of a roll. Songin didn't have a good feeling. He immediately launched the forging of the merchant profession. However, a C-class reinforcement material was missing. When Songin decisively took out his special eyes, 3 objects glow, gradually rubbed by energy. After the hammering, the ancient knife was really strengthened. Although the ancient knife is still B grade, but the quality is almost the same as A grade. Not only does it retain the previous effect, there's also a whole new form. Songin raised the ancient blade. Can't wait, I'm going to try it with flying stripes. The moment the ancient blade flung away, he began to prolong after raving, like the tongue of an ancient poisonous frog. All the flying stripes within 10 meters were strangled in an instant. You can also take it back as you like after use. With the ability to attack from a distance, Songen will not be so passive in the future. When he is level 30, he will have 4 skill slots. Maybe I'll be surprised when I see it again. And on the other side of the meeting, more than 100 men were staring at the big screen of the Dongshan Club. Goodbye photos. The equipment on this woman's hand is definitely A grade. Who can snatch his weapon? My ghost dragon can grant him a wish. And Songen, who had already killed all the remaining scandals in the dungeon, happened to pass by the dungeon. Through the method introduced by Songen last time, more than 10,000 pieces of equipment collected by a dong. Half of it has been sold. The cost was recovered. At this moment, the red-haired girl was healed because of the level increase. She took out her most precious deposit of 600,000 yuan and handed it to Songen, then towards the merchants. Adong asked, "I'm going to sell something now." She hurriedly touched the cold corpse of the fox and stole the skill for the next second. Immediately there was an extra dagger in his hand. Although her skills are touch-level props, but it is equally effective against corpses. Songen sighed with emotion. The original game was to return to the spawn point after death. Now the new world is dead and really dead. At this time, the red-haired girl began to complain, "Why do you men have this mosaic magazine in their warehouses? My props are limited to the same character." The next second, a strange blue tech ball appeared out of thin air. Songen explained, "This is a video ball that can store a certain bright image. Maybe there will be treasure when you open it. Press the red button. The video dome begins to project. The image is the Ghost King of the Haikshimakai." I said, "Brother Fox, you must not go to Li Jirue's side. As long as I and you are in harmony with the inside and out, when the time comes, you will be the president of the strategy group. Our 2 brothers work together. The new world is ours. In order to show sincerity, I'll give you a top-tier weapon information." This weapon was in the hand of this girl at the moment of seeing goodbye. Songen Lima red-eyed. "I'm going to kill you." At the same time, when he just came out of the dungeon, in the will give the leg bone dropped by the boss to the fat man. Because the fat man is afraid of pain, the attribute is all points to the defense as a meat shield. He deserves it. And at this moment, when all those who were hiding in the grass contracted to surround it, towards the goodbye of them, the ghost dragon said with a smile, "Chicks meet for the first time. We've been waiting for a long time." Faced with the siege of more than 100 people, again asked in a panic, "Did we misunderstand?" The ghost dragon smiled lightly. "No misunderstanding. I just want to see you play with the weapon in your hand. Again, it will be rejected outright." "I'm sorry, the owner of this weapon. You can't afford to offend." Then, the ghost dragon gave a command. The younger brother lifted up the shadow. "Now we'll meet again." They threw away. Meantime, Cheng Yong was pierced by a dime, and the rest of the Eastern Chamber of Commerce took out weapons one after another. We'll hurry to activate the Demon Eye again. Turn on the shield to cover all teammates, and when you see the life and death of your teammates, you will feel full of guilt. Songen, I'm sorry. I guess I'm going to miss my appointment.